Hello, and welcome back to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I'm Heather Edwards. Today, we're talking about negative self-talk, and let me tell you, it is not lost on me that the irony that is happening for me at this very moment as I'm recording for probably the 7th time, because my audio is just not turning out correctly today. And of course, I'm beating myself up. Why can't I figure this out? What is the problem? So, i.e., I'm giving you an example of negative self-talk and how it can impact your daily life. So for me, it just has been preventing me from moving forward to recording today. I digress, and we'll move forward talking about negative self-talk. So now negative self-talk does a variety of things. And here, the main thing is to understand what is negative self-talk and defining it, because it really is this internal dialogue. Sometimes we don't even realize that is happening. It's undermining our confidence, and it shapes how we see ourselves and shapes and informs what we believe we're capable of. So this is very, very important to so much of what you do. So if you'll stick around, we're going to talk about 3 key points. 1, the dangers of negative self-talk, how it's impacting you, how to identify negative self-talk, and then how we can combat that negative self-talk when we actually figure out that it's happening. So let's start with the real dangers of negative self-talk. It destroys your self-esteem. That constant self-criticism, it just chips away at how you feel about yourself. And it makes harder to believe in your abilities in anything that you do. Number 2, it creates fear and procrastination. I'm raising my hand right here. Every now and then, procrastination will steal a little bit of me from me. And what I mean is that when you're procrastinating, you're believing you're not ready. It will prevent you from taking action on things that you really want to do, and it fuels this avoidance factor. So avoiding is not good when you want to get something done. If you're avoiding it, clearly you never get it done. Number 3, danger of negative self-talk is that it reinforces limiting beliefs. Those thoughts that you have become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you think about your thoughts, and if you're thinking, I'm not ready, what happens? You stay not ready. You fulfill the prophecy of not being ready rather than taking steps forward and moving forward with something. You will literally act in accordance to whatever the story is that you've been telling yourself. Are you telling yourself you're ready? You're not ready? Are you telling yourself you're not good enough? Then you won't be good enough. Reactions to what you're telling yourself in your head. It also, number 4, impacts relationships. This happens way more than you think in so many different ways. When I talk to someone who is having issues in a relationship and maybe they are feeling things about their significant other, maybe they're feeling like their significant other isn't giving them enough attention. Well, what happens is that person is waiting for their significant other to give them attention rather than giving attention first. So that insecurity of that belief in your brain and doubting yourself or doubting someone around you, it alters how you show up and how you connect with other people. If you're at a networking meeting and you believe that no one wants to talk to you, so you don't really go up to others to talk to them, you are creating what you're thinking about. So consider what are your thoughts in any relationship around you and how they might be impacting you there. Number 5, it increases stress and anxiety. Negative self-talk activates your body's stress response. So you're not having a calm experience when you're in your brain telling yourself all the things that are not good or are not great about you, or that are limiting you, any doubts, insecurities, resistance, triggers, all of those things, the dirt that we talk about, those things increase your stress and anxiety, and it influences what is happening around you. So let's talk about how do we identify negative self-talk, because what I said earlier is oftentimes we're not even aware of it. Here's some things that you can look for and that will help you spot it before it takes root or before you continually repeat it to make strong bonds with those negative things that you're thinking of yourself. 1, all or nothing language. Phrases like, I always mess up, or I never do this right, or I've never been able to do this. Those kinds of phrases will help you catch yourself if you're doing this all or nothing language thing. Number 2, catastrophizing, turning a small mistake into a major disaster. So let's say you make a mistake at work. You misspell something in an email, and then you spend the rest of the day thinking about that word or that email not being perfect. Or let's say you do something with your child. Maybe you react in a really harsh way and you wish you hadn't done that. And instead of understanding it was just a situation and you're just going to do better next time, you spend a lot of time shaming or blaming yourself for doing it. That is what you might be doing if you're turning something into a disaster versus a small mistake. One thing that I love to share with people, if you tend to turn things into major disasters, if they're mistakes, use my evaluation method for that, or it's not mine necessarily, but an evaluation method that I promote oftentimes is doing a 3-step process, asking what went right, what went wrong, what will I do better next time? That what will I do better next time gives you the ability to recover, gives you the ability to do something about it. So the mind can rest and appreciate, I did things that were right, I did things that were wrong, but I'm going to do this better next time. The last thing we'll talk about is number 3, the comparison spiral. If you are constantly measuring your worth or your value against other people and you feel as if you fall short in your own mind, this is a huge sign that you are involved in and engrossed in negative self-talk. So just pay attention to the internal tone of your voice. Would you talk to yourself if you were 6 years old in that same tone? Would you talk to your best friend that way? Would you talk to your mother that way? Really pay attention to that voice, that inner voice that you have and how you are speaking to yourself. So looking for all or nothing language, looking for catastrophizing, looking for comparison spiral, all of those things will help you identify that negative self-talk. You know, I tell people it's good to take notes for yourself. Have a little spot, maybe your notes in your phone, maybe a little notebook, and write down things that you notice and agree with yourself that you're going to work on those particular items that you notice, because what you don't notice is also there. But as you notice things, you can work on those things, and the other things that are maybe you're going to be less aware of will become more apparent over time. All right, so let's also talk about the actual working on negative self-talk. What can we do? What kind of actionable tools can we use right now to help ourselves get over this negative self-talk? 1, name it and challenge it. When you have negative thoughts that come up, just label it. This is my inner critic talking. I've heard people actually name their negative self-talk, like Lucy, maybe. I don't know. If your name is Lucy, please don't take that as a bad thing. But just acknowledge that's my inner critic, and that is that person talking. And then ask yourself, is this a fact or is it fear? Is the statement that your brain is offering you, that your critic is offering you, is it a factual statement or a factual sentence or thought, or is it fear-based? Is there a little bit of insecurity and doubt in that, and that's what's creeping up? Number 2, rewrite the script. Replace I can't do this with I'm learning how to do this, or I can figure this out, or I don't know how to do this yet. Yet gives you the possibility of a future that is knowledgeable and understands it. Number 3, you're going to use evidence. You're going to look for real life examples that prove the negative thought wrong. So if you are someone and you say, I can't do hard things, or, oh, that's too hard, look for evidence in your life where you have already done something very hard, or that you've already overcome something that was hard. Look for that evidence to inform your thought, your negative inner critic, that you are capable of doing hard things. You're capable of overcoming something when it is difficult. And then the last thing that we'll say here is that we're going to practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness that you'd give to someone that you love, the 6-year-old you, your mom, your grandmother, your best friend. Practice that self-compassion. When I say practice it, I mean practice it. give yourself constant feedback against that critic that, nope, you're okay. It's okay. You weren't able to do that today, but you'll get it right the next time. So today, when I talked about my audio, not getting my audio right, I spent some time trying to figure it out. Couldn't quite get it the way I wanted it. And I was disappointed. Of course, I'm very disappointed. I want to put out a product that is good for my listeners, but there comes a point where I just have to do it. And I'm okay with that. I just am practicing self-compassion that, hey, it's okay. You didn't get it 100% correct this time. You weren't able to figure it out, but we'll get it next time. You'll get it figured out. And then the next podcast, the next episode, you'll be in a better spot. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about when I'm talking about that self-compassion. The reality is that confidence isn't built by being perfect. It's built by how you speak to yourself along the way, how you internalize what other people say about you. I want to encourage you right now to consider something that you're currently challenged with, something that you currently say about yourself, something that your inner critic is very happy to vocalize to you. I want you to work on that particular phrase, whatever it is. I'm not good at this. I can't do this. Whatever the statement is that you're currently working on or that's really bothering you. And I want you to think about that phrase and come up with a different phrase, come up with a way to work on it, reframe it, rewrite the script, find the evidence that it's not true, and then practice self-compassion. Just choose one thing a day or one thing each week and focus on that. And don't be so overwhelmed by the fact that negative self-talk can be all-encompassing. There are times in our lives that it's very rich and very consistent, that our brains want to offer us negativity and they want to offer us really negative things about ourselves. Don't fall into that. Take control, practice, be aware, and just do a little bit better every single day, and you'll get it. And you'll be more of a positive person who is more about taking care of yourself, just challenging yourself to be a better version of you, and being a little bit less critical of yourself. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a blast. I would love for you to do me a huge favor and either go leave a rating or a review. And if you really love the podcast or you've learned anything at all, please pass it on to a friend or a family member that might enjoy the podcast as well. That's how I grow, and that's how I'm able to continue bringing you content. If you are interested in coaching, just go to thecrazyconfidencecoach.com. You can sign up for a free discovery call there. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you next Tuesday so we can build our crazy confidence together. Love you big.